All right, folks, it is 4:03 p.m. on Friday afternoon. We're going to go ahead and get started. Again, I would like to reintroduce myself. My name is Ryan Santelli. I'm the product specialist here at Schroeder Industries. I'm also working on the high-tech side as well, so I answer questions all around Schroeder and high-tech world with process elements and filters. So we're going to start with the resin bonded element. It's becoming a more and more popular element as 3M has dropped it from their product line, leaving the rest of us to pick up the pieces. The resin bonded element is primarily designed for chemical applications typically. If you look on the left of the crossover application, you can see that they all have in common are chemicals. Even the organic solvents, cleaning materials typically is what we'd see this for. Why is this element important? Is because it doesn't have any silicone. Silicone usually bleeds into chemicals very easily and can cause many different things to happen. It's a different reactionary item to any type of oxidizing chemical, to any kind of irons, stuff like that. A silicone can actually do a reverse action to it and be very aggressive. So people integrate the rigid resin bonded element. Why? The element is strung together. It has a phenolic resin impregnated into the filter, along with a wire wrap around it. And the one thing that separates us, which we'll get a little more detail, is that we burn stamp the actual micron rating on each one. And there's a reason for that as well. So we came across this element, like I said, as 3M, who were the creators and originators of the element, and also shared a majority of the market for this specific type of element in this market. And they had dropped it from the line due to the very expensive manufacturing it takes to manufacture these as a environmental standard issue. So when produced in a smaller application, it's not that bad of a hazard to the environment. So that's why we are able to pull away with it being a non-large producer of this element, but enough to produce and supply our customers on a regular basis. What's so special about the resin bonded element, which I've stated already, it's just the silicone is really the main issue. Other reasons people use resin bonded elements are to remove heavy metals, magnesium out of paint surfaces, out of cleaning solvents, out of organics, and sometimes acids as well. If they oxidize, they end up becoming a residue inside. This element is very normal other than that, basically. So, for instance, as you can see, this large amount of material that I put on the screen real quick, the middle comment there, it says this media is an outer pre-filtration layer, like all elements, and it catches larger particles. Then inner layer is related to the particulate micron size and gradually becomes tighter towards the inner diameter of the cartridge. Again, that sounds just like every other one of the elements we produce. So there's not a whole lot difference between this and other elements. It's more the style, the shape, the ridges, the complex design of the no silicone, the string wires, and the impregnated phenolic resin is really what are the contributors to why you'd use this versus a standard melt blown or anything like that. So again, we saw this one customer, and this is basically gives you an idea where we ended up with the MTX and why we ended up with the MTX and why we're actually using it today as a reference for our webinar for this month. It started with a paint company we had based out of the U.S. here. The chemical processing customer came to Schroeder complaining of the lack of communication they were having with their current provider. The other issues they were having were efficiency. They were unaware, and plus they were unaware of what actually their system. So we were able to diagnose the entire issue. We inspected the customer's application, reviewed the customer's designated lab officials who were very helpful to show us what their ultimate goal is for quality, for inspection, for basically every certificate they have to pass. And then we went ahead and looked at the element, what the surroundings, the application element is, and how well it worked. The next step was to ensure the delivery and the accurate efficiency of that actual element. Those are the two key items that we try to focus a lot here at Schroeder is delivery, make sure we have available, and then the accurate efficiency. Most of the people that come to us looking for a solution are here because they need that efficiency. They need that accuracy, and the proven accuracy, mind you, to show you what we're able to accomplish with our product. On top of that, too, of course, the last issue is just keeping the same price point. I'm sure if some of the distributors on here, you should know that having the right price or matching the price of a competitor product so the customer doesn't worry about an upscale price for better efficiencies is always a key item. So we proposed the RBGC, the resin bonded element. They were using this prior, but they were using the wrong micron sizes. They were using the wrong lengths. They were using the wrong cartridges, and they didn't even know 100% what size micron they were getting. The owl spiral wire wrap around from the fiber blends of polyester and acrylic increases the cartridge strength and eliminates the residual debris associated with the conventional or machine and grooved resin bonded cartridges. So again, it's just our design. It's better than the competitors basically, but it's something that is you can look at it and say this is way out of the spec of anything we need. It looks like a normal resin bonded element and it works just fine. And the last final item is basically the biggest reason for phenolic resin is for high viscosity items. For instance, this case, as we were saying before, the customer is paint as well. So what did we do? We gave the customer better information. The customer now gets their elements in a 4-week period time, which is way faster than when the customer providing competition. I will tell you that it took some time to get to that 4-week time period because it was an issue of making sure we supplied the right micron size and then the creating of the element and making sure it's exactly what would fit for the customer. But once we got it down and we were able to nail down, we were under a regular 4-week period time, and now it's something we have on our inventory at a regular basis. We're delivering a product with tested efficiencies now at 87%, before the customer was at 72%. So we were able to increase their overall efficiency by 15% while providing the same price. The reduced element changeouts went down also by 25% because of that 15% element efficiency. The cost savings of changeouts, lamers, and system shutouts are $45,000 annually, and that was in 2018. We're looking for a lot more this year in 2019 because we graduated to a different element that we believe the efficiencies are at least about 22% higher in efficiencies. And I only say believe because it will take time to prove through many different factors of different time frames, seasonal time frames, which you guys are all sure I'm aware. So the biggest issue on this is because of making the phenolic RBGC elements takes time. It takes a lot of different tools, a lot of different chemicals to make sure that it acts and reacts exactly the same way, and it's exactly the same every time it's produced in the quality standard. It's difficult. It's not easy and it takes a lot of time. That's why these takes a lot of weeks for delivery. So we came up with a better product. We came up with the MTX element. And what I'm going to show you here in these two slides is basically, it's a very simple, unique element, and it handles just perfectly the same way a resin bonded element without the silicone glue on the interior, and it does have a stainless steel core. The stainless steel core can come in 304, 316. We've also made a true gradient density across the element. The consistent particles removal with efficiencies, we're testing that right now to prove it is, and we're going on about 6 months already. We have about 4 more months to consider it a final test to prove the efficiencies, but again, we're about 91, 92% efficiency than we were prior to at 87% with what the resin bond that we originally recommended. pH range is 4 to 10 in most applications. Again, extensive chemical compatibility because it is a polyester media. A wide range of effective applications. Again, we can handle that same exact list as we had on the other one. Silicone free, as I mentioned, and outer layers collect the larger particles while the inner controls a smaller and more rated size. Finally, the end options, and if you understand anything about melt-blown elements, the end options can be fins, DOEs, plates, washers, foam gaskets. There's a long list of them. We offer them all. If there's something new you don't think that you could see on us, if you give it to me, I bet you we can make it, or we can figure out how to apply it. There's very few that stop us at that door. It does withstand pressure surges up to 100 psi across the cartridge, and unique polyester formation strengthens the cartridge for its use. Fluid viscosity is up to 15,000 SSE. The other side, the other parts of the data sheet, which you'll see on the next page, just as briefly, I just wanted to show the normal sizing chart you see on the left, a selection and build your model code. That's very typical you'd see here at Schroeder and at Heideck. If you have a pressure drop, which we do promise on most of our elements as much as we can, we have the actual look. That is what your element will look like, a spun-bound filter. You cannot see the stainless core, but I promise you it is in there. As you can see, the core options under the guide to your left. And again, keeping up with the RBGC, the max temp is at 250 degrees operation condition, and the change out we recommend at 50 delta P. There's your data sheet. It is available for all of you. It is 2 pages. There's not much more I can give you after that. It was a little bit too much. I understand it was heavy on the RBGC, but I needed you guys to understand the relationship between the two because the MTX is very similar to the resin bonded filter. So after that, that's pretty much enough for me to have to say. It's 4:14, so I'm at the 14-minute mark. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend. You have my phone number, 724-318-1262. My email, rsantelli@schroederindustries.com. Should you guys need anything, feel free to contact me. Take care and have a safe weekend.